As a mentor, I meet all kinds of persons. Some are managers and they want to have a fantastic career. Some are entrepreneurs, but they don't know how to start their own company. And some don't know what they want. They just want something else, something more in life. They want to change. And that is the common denominator of my clients. They want to change their life. They want to see how far they can go, or they just want to have freedom. If you want to change something in your life, you don't know what it is, or you know what it is, I would love helping you. I had this wonderful career where I did everything. I was 29 years old, I was CEO. I was 34 years old, I was CEO and president of a large international group. I just took those steps really fast and I was never happy. I got more and more frustrated. I was some days in hospital because I had almost worked myself to death. And it was like, I just continued in that hamster wheel. And then something happened in my life. And I studied personal development, just like many of you have done too. And then something special happened in my life. And that is why I'm here, why you are here on this webinar with me, and also a story I will share with you today. So warm welcome again. At the beginning, I showed some of my client referrals, some of the clients, and I say, Lena, I said, hello, Lena, nice to see you again. She was one of the referrals, a wonderful, wonderful woman. So it's good to see you again, Lena. You always make me happy. So let's start this this webinar. It might be that we go a little bit over time. It could be because, but I hope that's okay for you. So let me share my presentation. As a mentor, I meet all. Stop. Okay, give me a second. As a mentor, I meet all kinds of persons. There we are. So let's go. Everything looking good, Dylan, as it should do? Good, thank you. Okay. So this is a free live webinar, and I say start living the life you want already today. Just start. It's not difficult at all. If I can do it, you can do it. And the trick is that we become what we think about. It's a true fact. We actually, as humans, become what we think about. You know, what you think about most of the day affects everything in your life. And to me, this should be common knowledge, but it's not. And it's one of the biggest motivations why I mentor people all over the world every day, is because I think it's just, we should have, this should be a part of school. And Andrew Carnegie said this. In 1907, Andrew Carnegie said this: any idea that is held in the mind, any idea that is held in the mind, either it's feared or awared, whether you want it or not, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Any idea. Any idea. And the challenge we have, Robert Heinlein said this: in absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until we ultimately become enslaved by it. That's the hamster wheel, my friends. That's the feeling of numbness, feeling of what's the meaning of life. It is the lack of goals. You know, the brain is a goal-achieving machine. On your way to your goal, you release dopamine in your brain. Neuroscience shows that. And dopamine, it's the happy hormone. So your life today is a result of all your thoughts so far. If you wonder what you have thought about until now, just look at your life. Look at it neutrally. Oh, that's interesting. If you are where you are, you have thought what you want to, about what you want. If you're not where you are and you're ready to change, and I guess that's part of why you are here, you know, you have to change. And one decision can change everything. One decision changed my life. Because what you think affects all your feelings, and your feelings affect your actions, and your actions affect how you live. And we need this kind of disruption in our thinking to move away from the routine thoughts. And something needs to happen. And that thing that has to happen is a decision. It's an easy decision. I want to change. And this is what highly successful people do. And to me, success is that you live the life you really want. Nothing more. It's not about money. It's not about status. It's not about fantastic career or anything. You can want anything. If you want to be a successful artist, if you want to be, if you want to be an actor, if you want to have, I don't know, Nobel Prize in mathematics, it doesn't matter. Highly successful people do 4 things. These 4 easy things. We set high goals. We make fast decisions within seconds. And we don't change them. Oh, this is cool. I want to do that. I'll come back to why it's important not to change it. We take advice from others that have done what we really want to do. And then we invest in our personal development. Those are the 4 things. It's so easy to do. I mean, when you look at the Olympics in Paris now, a lot of people look at that. They have trainers, right? They're super focused on what they want to do. They take advice from others who know what they're talking about, and they invest in their personal development. It's the same thing with the brain. It's the same thing with the mind. It's the same thing with being successful. Earl Nightingale, 1950. And if you haven't heard about Earl Nightingale, maybe you heard about Bob Proctor. Bob was my mentor. I was so lucky I had Bob as my mentor the last months of his life. Back in 2021, I had Bob as my mentor. And Earl was the mentor of Bob. Bob was he worked with Earl Nightingale back in the 50s. And Earl said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. Ideal, what is your ideal life? How do you really want to live? How do you really want to live? And it's progressive, meaning that it's step by step, by step, by step, by step. That is how. It's not like you go from being you today to become world's best chess player in a day. No, it's the step by step, by step, by step. So let's turn life upside down. Let's just, and open your mind and just say that, well, this is cool. To me, this was like really opening up my mind. Most people say, I have this body with this mind. And I say, we have this mind with this body. And no one has ever seen the mind. So what is the mind? Well, the mind is not only your brain, because it's everything. It's your brain. You have 40,000 brain cells in your heart as well. And you have all the nervous system. So you can feel things, sense things, and you can feel your thinking. So let's look at the mind. The body, we know everyone. We know we live in our body. But I don't think we are our body. I think we are our mind. So we have the intellectual mind. Everything we have taught is up in the intellectual mind, up in that part of the mind. And the intellectual mind have 5 physical senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We all live with that. And then we have the emotional mind, which maybe is the heart. In my world, the heart and the 40,000 brain cells in your heart, and scientists, just look it up. Scientists have found, in the 90s, Western scientists found that we have 40,000 brain cells in our heart. Well, Western scientists say it's because our heart continues to beat when the brain is dead. And I said that to a client of mine, is a Muslim, a wonderful guy. He's from Morocco. And he's very well taught, high degree in business. And he said, I know. And I said, how do you know? It's written in the Quran. How did they know that 1400 years ago? Then my mind started wondering, what's the purpose of the heart? Well, that's the emotional mind, that's the intuition. So in the emotional mind, we have higher faculties, 6 higher faculties. You have the perception, how you see life. It's like the looking glass to life, your perception. how you perceive what you like, what you don't like, everything. Your will to do it. Most people think about the will as something physical. I see will as a very, very important mental muscle that we train every day. Your imagination is one of the first things we take away from our kids when they come. I remember when I was a kid, my sister and I, we played family. We had this, and we made supper, we made dinner, and we had everything under a table. We just put a cloth over the round table at my parents' cabin, and we played family under there. We used our imagination. We could see it in our mind. It's one of the first things we take away from our kids when they come here. And we say, oh, you have to be rational. That's not possible. I would say everything is possible. And as Bob Proctor, I can just say, as Walt Disney said, I have a sign, a Walt Disney sign here. If you can dream it, you can do it. How do you dream it? You use your imagination. And then you have your memory. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have the memory. Most people use it to think about what they have done wrong. And the successful people, they use it to think about what was good. And they also use it to create the movie or the story of the future. You remember the future life. Intuition, your silent voice that nudges you. And you have the reasoning, the ability to think. Most people use their intellectual mind all the time, but not the emotional mind. They don't use the higher faculties. When they read something or see something, they let that affect how they feel. When you hear something you like or you don't like, you let that affect your feelings. I say that the 5 physical senses, the only job they have in creating your life is that you shall experience life in this moment, here and now, in this moment, nothing else. Don't let what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch affect anything about the future. You can observe it, be neutral to it, but to create your future life, you use your mind in a different way. Because your thoughts, and you have to be aware of this, your thoughts are energy. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates. If you look at a dead body, it will still vibrate. Otherwise, it wouldn't have rotten. Everything vibrates. Nothing rests. Everything, Light is energy. Sound is energy. Taste is energy. Feelings are energy. You can feel your energies. You can feel, and your thoughts are energy. You just put electrons on your brain and you will see that your thoughts are energy, and we can see which part of the brain works. Your thoughts are energy. Your feelings are energy. You can feel that. Happiness, for me, happiness is up here. Sadness is down in the middle, and then fear is further down. You feel it in your body. You can feel your energy. You can feel your frequency. It's like a low frequency if you're afraid or sad. It's a high frequency when you're happy. It's energy. Everything is energy. Not only your heartbeats, but your feelings. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. Everything is energy. In your body, and that's cool. We are a mass of energy, and you function on frequencies. You have more energy in your body than there is in a bolt of lighting. Did you know that? 0.0 volt per cell. 0.0 volt in every cell, and you have 36 billion cells in your body. You make 30 to 40 million new cells every day. There is more energy in your body than in a bolt of lighting. Can you imagine? And how do we control it? With our thinking. With our thinking. So there is. You have everything you need inside you to live the life you really want. I didn't know that when I started because I was blaming everyone else. Oh, it's the politicians, the competitors. I was in the corporate world. I was competing all the time. I worked 8 years in the sports industry. I was kind of into competing. I didn't realize that if I started controlling my thinking, I could change my life. And you have everything inside. You have everything. You have your brain, you have your feelings, you have your body. You know, and your feelings are conscious awareness of vibration. When you get conscious about it and just start feeling and be aware of how do I actually think, how do I actually feel, and what do I focus on? I talked to a client of mine yesterday, and I worked with him for quite a bit of time. And he was a one-on-one client before. He's attending a seminar I have this fall. And I work with him now, and he said, Christer, I remember the first time you told me that I should not be angry at the other idiots in traffic. And he said, I still remember that. Every time I get in the car, I'm just so calm. I just let it go. He is conscious aware of his vibrations. I choose to be happy, right? He doesn't let what he see, what he hear around him affect his feelings, because it doesn't serve him well. So when you are conscious aware of how you feel, and that goes back to Andrew Carnegie, any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, either feared or aware, will immediately start to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. We become what we think about. That is why we are very, very aware of what we think. And you know, everything exists on a frequency. You exist, I exist on a frequency. And this model is called the funnel of limitation. And it is like that. We live in this funnel. The more aware we are, the higher up we come in awareness, the more we see, the more possibilities we get. And everything, your goal exists on a frequency. If you close your eyes now and go to your dream life, go to your dream life. Don't think about how. Just close your eyes, be neutral, and go to your dream life. Go to that boat, go to that beach, go to that partner, go to that business you want to have, and just feel it in your body. You will feel happy, right? It's a different frequency. It's a different feeling. Everything exists on a frequency. It's like, how are you in your dream life? What competence do you have? That's on a frequency. Your knowledge. What abilities do you have? What feelings do you have? What happiness do you have? And you know, there is only, and go to your dream life, there is only one reason. There is only one valid reason for setting a goal. Only one valid reason. You know what it is? I want to. I want. This is what I want. Yeah. And a good friend of mine, he said to me when we start talking about goals, and he is a top manager. He's CEO of a really good business. And he said, you know, Christer, what you want to do, you cannot do that. No one has ever done it before. And I said, you know, then, well, I will be the first one. Because I already was at that frequency. I saw that. I saw us sailing around the world. That has been one of my goals. I saw myself helping people all over the world every day, because that is one of my goals. I want to do that. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. Because I think it's fun. Because I love helping others. And that's the frequency. Go to that. And the gap between, you see, who you are today and who you want to be, that's the opportunity gap. That is the gap you can fill with lots of opportunities of how you can develop, how you can stretch, how you can become a better version of yourself. You know, your thoughts are programmed. 95% of our day is on autopilot. Just, you know, try to make a different breakfast. Try to put your trousers on and put the other leg in first. Try to drive a different way to work. You know, just try to change things, and you will see that 95% of our day is on autopilot, and that is really, really good. Mostly, it's really good. Habits, you know, we have these habits. And when we are from 0 to 7 years old, there is no barrier between the intellectual mind and the emotional mind. That barrier is not there. So everything that happens automatically affects and programs us. It's open. It's fully open. And the emotional mind is fully developed at the year when we are 25 years old. That is interesting. And we are so affected by everything that happens around us. We have newspapers, we have family, we have people happy. We have the neighbor that yells us out at us. We have friends, family, everything. And now we have social media. And everyone, it's important for lots that it's more important that you get a lot of likes than that you actually live the life you really want. And these programs, these habits, we call them paradigms, they can be changed in two ways. They can be changed like if you experience a big trauma, near death, something bad happens or something really good happens, then you can change. The other way to change paradigms and how we think, study and repetition. Study and repetition. We know that. We repeat, and we study. Those are the ways. We don't work with traumas, but we work with studying and repetition. And those paradigms, they affect your perception. It's not interesting. Your habits, your way of thinking affects how you see the world. Your perception defines whether it's good or bad. You know, when someone says, oh, this is a really big opportunity, you can think that it's a really big challenge. That's only your perception, nothing else. Your perception is like a looking glass on the world. Your paradigms affect the use of time, how effective you are, and how you use your time. Do you use your time to think about everything you should do, or do you just do it? Your effectiveness, your efficiency, your standard. Your paradigms affect your standard. How do you look? How do you think? How do you live? How is your marriage? How is your economy? Everything, your standard, is affected by your paradigms. Your productivity, and what ideas you accept and reject. And that's important. Do you have a conscious awareness about what kind of ideas you accept? Oh, that's a good idea. I can accept that. That's a bad idea. I don't accept that. You know, as I said, paradigms control 95% of your daily life. And to get the life you want, you don't have to change 95%. No. Maybe you have to change 2, 3, 4%. That's all. And you don't have to change it at once. It's step by step by step by step. And you have this wonderful power. You have this wonderful power inside. And as I said, you have everything inside you to live the life you truly want. You have absolutely everything. Because you possess the power to change your thoughts. And as Bob Proctor said, it is the greatest power there is, the power to choose. The power to choose. Take your thinking and change it. It's that easy. The challenge is this model, the comfort zone. I hate the comfort zone. I'm easily bored. We had 3 weeks summer vacation in July. After 2 weeks, I was so bored. I was so getting forward to getting back to work and doing this webinar and everything to start working again. I'm bored in the comfort zone, but you have this comfort zone where you feel you are in control. And I used to be there. I was shitty scared. I was so scared of changing. And then you go into the fear zone, you say, I want to change. And you go into the fear zone. And then what happens in the fear zone? You start finding excuses. You get affected by others' opinions. You lose your self-confidence and you move back. Start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. New Year's resolutions. They don't work. Go to the gym in January. Don't go to the gym in January. But go there as an experience and see how many people are there the first 2-3 weeks. And then you count the numbers in February, right? So they start and they stop and they start and they stop and they start and stop. You have to push through the fear zone. You have to Go into the learning zone, because that is what it takes. You have to extend your comfort zone where you acquire new skills, you deal with challenges and problems and opportunities, and you push yourself into the growth zone, where you find your purpose, you live your dream, you set new goals, and you conquer objectives. Start, stop, start, stop, start, stop doesn't work. It just doesn't. Nothing happens. Oh, I tried that, but it didn't work. Can you imagine if I had listened to the friend of mine who said that, you know, Christer, what you really want to do, no one has done that, so you cannot do that. If I had accepted one of my best friend's ideas, I wouldn't be here today. I would have been back in the comfort zone where I was not happy. The hamster wheel. But you have to push through. You have to push through. And if you let the outside world control your thoughts, friends, family, media, colleagues, unwritten laws, common sense, what others say, neighbors, then you are on the negative side. You're in ignorance because you haven't realized how the mind actually works. You haven't realized that you can do anything you want, that you can live your dream life. You haven't realized that. Then worry, doubt, and fear kicks in. You get anxiety and you just suppress it. You suppress it, you suppress it, you suppress it. I had constant pain in my stomach. I was afraid all the time. I was so afraid. And listen, I was CEO and president of international companies, and I was afraid all the time. If I was good enough, afraid of what others would say, afraid of losing everything I had. The other side, the positive side, is that you choose what you want to feel. You have knowledge, you study. You study. You get inspired by reading, by attending webinars like this. You understand that there is more to life. You have faith. Faith in yourself. You feel well, you express yourself, you accelerate, you create. And things go easy. I come back to that easiness. It doesn't mean that it's like lying on this pink cloud all the time. No, it's not. But we are very, very aware. The funny thing, and this goes 2,500 years back in time, Hippocrates, he described 4 fundamental temperaments, four basic temperaments, and I use that. I wrote about it in my book, and all of you who attend this webinar will get 3 chapters from my book describing personalities, and study that. Look at that. See how the personality affects you, your personality, and look for the people around you. That was one of the things I started studying, and I think it's more than 15 years ago I started studying that. And that was aha for me as a manager, as a father, as a husband. It just changed. And the 4 personalities we have, and we are all a mix of them, but we have one dominating one. From the left, we have the melancholic. The melancholy is like the engineer. When everything fits into place, then life is perfect, you know. The watchmaker. Yeah, if you have one of these mechanical watches, and some of them have glass on the back side, you can look into the timepiece and you can see that, and then they get like, oh, that is so cool. Puzzle makers, when everything, you know, they are planners and all that. Wonderful. That is one personality. And then we have the sanguine, and the melancholy is, let's do it the perfect way. When everything fits, then everything is perfect. And then when they have the sanguine, let's do it the fun way. The artist, the woman that dresses in this beautiful dress full of flowers, red and pink and green. She has beautiful nails, big hair, takes a lot of room, speaks to everyone, laughs out loud. Sanguine man with his Hawaii shirt. Where do you find them? Artists, sellers, actors, musicians, you know, always fun. Let's do it the fun way. Yeah, it's cool. And then you have the phlegmatic. Oh, yes, mañana, mañana. Let's do it tomorrow. What's important for the phlegmatic is peace of mind. There it is. That's the phlegmatic. Read the same book for the 5th time. Glass of wine, cup of tea. Just relax. Try to push them and they get stubborn. And then you have the choleric. Let's do it my way. Let's do it my way. Where do you find the cholerics? Managers. Typical. This is the way. I'm a choleric. Strong choleric, always been. So my personality is choleric. As a manager, I was very choleric, easy to make decisions, driving things ahead, love to set goals. I also have melancholic as number 2 because we're a mix of them, as I said, meaning that I like systems. If you read my book, you will see it's very systematic. It's fun to understand yourself. It's really fun. And it's really fun to understand a lot of others around you. This is a fantastic tool if you're into sales, if you're into management, if you're just into personal development. It's just amazing to understand yourself. And the personality characteristics, you can download them from my web, or we will send to everyone that attend this. We will send the free chapters. Look at that. It takes too much time to go into the details now, but just study that and see that. It's really interesting. So, one idea can change your life. One idea. Remember I said accept and reject ideas? Affected by your perception. So, I can just strongly recommend you accept this idea. This idea. Just accept it. Be open. You can live the life you really want. If I can do it, you can do it. It's not difficult at all. The Norwegian king was once asked, because he was a smoker and he quit smoking, and you know, that's a change of paradigm and change of person, not personality but identity. And a journalist asked him, was it difficult to quit? And he said it was disappointingly easy. Disappointingly easy. You can live the life you want. Just accept it. Don't reject it and say, I don't know how. How is not your job. How is not your job. Just accept the idea now. You know, and that is the golden buzzer. The golden buzzer is to accept only ideas that take you to your goal. It's like, yeah, do it. Of course we can. Of course I can. I know I can. I know I can. I don't know how, but I know. I know. And that is the golden buzzer. That is the golden buzzer. So how do you really want to live? How do you really want to live? And what do you really want to do? You know that? It's your dream life. I can easily go to my dream life. I go there every day. Of course, I want to change. I want something more, something else than I have today. I know we're on the right track. And you don't have to, Zig Ziglar said this. He said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You know, to live the life you really want, you have to start. You cannot just sit there and say, oh, that would be nice. You know that. You have to do something. And to change your life, and this is a picture of Bob Proctor. To change your life, all you have to do is to change how you think, and that is easy. And first time I met Bob, he said that, and that's the quote I have under the picture there. He said, you know, Chris, you have only one problem in life, and that is you. And you know, my friend, you have only one solution in life, and that is you. And I was thinking about that. And I realized 2 things. I cannot blame others. And it's all up to me. And it's that easy. It's that easy. It's that easy, and that's difficult. You don't have, if you don't like how things are, change it. You are not a tree. Jim Rohn said that. You're not a tree. You have the ability to think. Start thinking. Start using your thoughts, creating the life you really want. Because to create the life you really want, and that is one of the learnings from me from my corporate world. I spent 25 years in the corporate world. We were so much into strategy. We were 95% strategy, 5% mindset. That is not how it is. It's 95% mindset, 5% strategy. It is 95% what do I want, 5% how can I do it. That is how you create the life you want. And every time I was successful with running companies, that is what we did. We set a high goal, we made good decisions, and we moved on all the time. That is because successful people are action-oriented. We are action-oriented. We don't think about it. We just do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. You never fail. You only learn. You never fail. You only learn. And these are the actions of highly successful people. We set high goals. How do you really want to live? We make fast decisions. Within seconds, we make decisions. We take advice from those that have done what we want to do. I often half joke. I say, if you want to be a millionaire, don't go to the bank. There are no millionaires working there. If they had been millionaires, they hadn't been working there. If you want to live a life of freedom, take advice from those people that know what it takes, that live their life in freedom, financial, emotional freedom. And don't listen to, like my friend, and he's still a very good friend, that said, I cannot do it. Because he is still in the corporate world, in the hamster wheel, and not what I want to do. And then you invest in your personal development, just like the best Olympics, just like the best athletes, they have trainers. And everyone that are successful, they have a coach, a mentor, someone that helps them, someone that they can look up to, someone that can say, do that, don't do that. And that know what they're talking about. This is all it takes. And high goals, we have three kinds of goals. A goal, what you know you can do. Next year, I want to go to the Canarian Islands for summer vacation. Okay, cool. Have you done it before? Yeah, every year, the last 20 years. Okay, where are you going? Same place. That's not a goal. That's a habit. B goals, what you think you can do. I had my goal for many, many years to sail around the world. I write about that in my book as well. And I thought that was a goal because I wanted to conquer the world, not conquer the world, but to sail around the world and explore the world. I'm an explorer of life. I thought that was like something I dreamt about, but I realized that it was actually a big goal. I knew I thought I could do it. I had to buy the boat. I grew up sailing when I was 7 years old. I started sailing. I had my own boat when I was a kid. Always sailed. No. You know, I was visiting my old parents today, and my dad is an old sailor. I mean, he learned to sail, and then he taught me that. I thought that was a big hairy goal, but no, it was not. It's what I think I can do, and now we do it. Seagull, what you really dream about, that dream life. That dream life. Yeah. You know what my seagull is? Every day help millions of people all over the world living the life to dream about. Millions of people all over the world. That's my secret. I have no idea how to accomplish it, but step by step by step. So what is your really big goal? And it's okay if it's scary. It's okay. That's actually a very good sign if you think it's a little bit scary that you don't know how to do it. It's okay. I want to be this fantastic artist. I want to have financial freedom. I want to have passive income so I can travel wherever I want, whenever I want. One of my clients, he visualizes himself laying on a beach in Dubai with his iPad on his knees and looking at and managing his companies in Scandinavia. It's okay. He has no idea. And first time he said it to me, he said, I don't know if I can tell you about this because it's kind of, I don't know. I said, well, just tell me. I will never judge you. And I said, "Oh, that's a wonderful goal. I really can see you there." You know, and as I say, success is easy. You define your goal, where you want to go. You know where you are today, and then you have this opportunity gap in between. So what does it take to get there? That's, you know, I know where I am, I know where I want to go. What is the price? What does it take to get there? And are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do the job? And it's not difficult. Most people say that. I heard I heard a psychologist, Norwegian psychologist, and I have had several psychologists as clients. But this psychologist, and it was not a client of mine, maybe he should. He said you have to be very, very careful setting high goals because you might be disappointed if you don't reach them. It was like, come on, you haven't understood anything. Of course, it's fun to set high goals because the purpose is to go there, is on the way to the goal we live the life we really want. You know, and the challenge is that happiness takes freedom, and freedom takes courage. Freedom is not something you get. It's not something you have. It is something you take. And you take it by an attitude. I am free. I am free. So are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to go through the comfort zone, go out of the comfort zone into the fear zone and manage that? Are you willing? You know, all change is hard at the first, messy in the middle, and then so beautiful at the end. And it's, you know, the challenge is that stretching is a part of the deal and you get used to that. I can tell you how shitty scared I was. When I left the corporate world some years ago, and I have a mentor, I talked to him just before this webinar. And he said, Christer, you know, I said I had this goal. I wanted to do that and that. I wanted to sail around the world. I wanted to have a mentoring company helping people all over the world. I wanted to build up this company because I love helping other people. And he said, I don't believe you. I said, what do you mean? He said, you don't have that as a goal. Maybe you have a wish. I said, no, it's a goal. Well, then you have to do what it takes. And what was that? I had to leave the corporate world. I had to give up that. I had to quit. And you have no idea how shitty scared I was. I was so afraid. I was so afraid. And this happened 1 week before Elin and I got married. And it's like, okay, and she's a tough one. She's a good woman, you know. And she said, you know, but Krista, what's the worst thing that can happen? I said, I don't know. Well, let's figure out. Let's figure it out. And then I did it. I left the corporate world. And it's the best thing I ever done. I had to push out of the comfort zone into the fear zone and do it. Because it's a question about who you want to be. How do you see yourself? Do you want to be the worker, working hours? Do you want to be the CEO? Do you want to be the owner? And this is not only business-wise, because freedom is related to these roles and how you see yourself. And you have to take this extreme ownership to your life. I mean, when you first live this life, make it good. Make it great. Extreme ownership to your life. And I can relate to this picture because I have sailed a lot, not only on our sailboat. And right now we sail around in the Mediterranean, but I've been out in shitty weather. So I served 1 year in the Norwegian Coast Guard. And I know what a lot of weather is. I mean, 20 meters waves, I've seen that. And then you take extreme ownership to your life because you realize that everything is up to you. And it is. Everything is not up to everyone else. It's up to you. Take extreme ownership to your thinking, your feelings, your actions. Start thinking about what you want. Define a goal. Write it down. Take ownership to your results. Oh, I was good at that. That was cool. Then I can do more of that. Or I didn't. This was not good enough. Or I want to do more. Then you change. Just take responsibility yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just take responsibility. Say, these are my results. Don't blame anyone else. It's not the economy. You know, there are people that are successful in bad, what others call bad economy. There are people that are that fail in a good economy. Just take responsibility and ownership for your results and be honest. Be honest. Honest with yourself. Responsibility, take ownership to your responsibility and take ownership to your environment. Environment means what people do you have around you? What kind of environment are you in? That is why we create groups of people and we work with them. It's the most important thing. Can you imagine being inspired by others? So these are your pillars of success. Your self-image. How do you see yourself? And what is the future self-image? Who do you want to be? Your standards. How do you want to live? Have you written down how you want to live? This is how I want to have my health. This is how I want my economy. This is how I want my marriage. This is my family standard. I have a standard for family. I do. I have a standard for friends. It's written down. This is how we travel. This is how we live. This is the standard for our marriage. You know, when you set the standard, if you don't do that, you live on excuses based on what others would think. It's interesting just to set the standard. Your attitude, what you think, what you feel, and what you act, what you do. Remember what I said. Any idea that is held in the mind, that is your thinking, either feared or aware, your feelings, will immediately start to clothe itself, your actions. And then you have your discipline. Many people say that discipline is bad. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is. Give yourself a command and do it. You know, people don't understand discipline. Discipline is a fun thing because discipline is actually, it's how we create the life. If you have discipline to do the things that you say to yourself, then you have freedom to do everything else. And then there are decisions and actions, of course, every day. These are the pillars of success, your pillars of success. How do you see yourself? And success is not created now. It's a step by step by step by step process. 1% better every day. Everyone can be 1% better every day. 1% more aware, 1% more focused, 1% happier, 1% healthier, 1% a day. Everyone can do that. And that is how success is. It is the compounded effect of many small changes done every day. Step by step by step by step by step. And as I said, success is to live the life you truly want. That is success. Oh, I want that. Cool. Do it. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's not what others say. It's a state of mind. It's a habit. It's a habit. If you ask a wealthy person, have you ever been broke? Yes, many times, they say. But I never stopped. And that is what we do. How to do it? And it's easy. Accept the idea of what you want. Just accept, accept and reject ideas. Accept the idea. This is what I want. And then you start creating your new self-image, meaning that you think about who you want to be. You think about how you can become better. 1% every day. And you don't give up. You don't start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You start and then you continue. When you meet resistance, you say, no, I'm going to push through. And you think only about what you want. Back to any idea. Think about what you want. Most people, and like the media, I would like to launch a newspaper called The Good News. But no one is interested in that. Wouldn't it be wonderful, the good news? This is what we want. We want to have prosperity. We want to be happy. Can you imagine the newspaper telling about successful people? Could be cool. You will never figure out the how on your own. You can continue to think about how, but that is the wrong question. If you had known how, you would have already done it, right? And the challenge with how is that if you think about life, if you're a melancholic, you think about life that if I only do that and that and that, like this Rubik's Cube, I can fix it. You know the challenge and how the universe is? is there are endless number of cubes. So many cubes, so many possibilities, because you're only limited by your imagination, what you think you can do and how you can see it, and your level of awareness. The more aware you are of your thinking, of your abilities, and how this actually works, the more possibilities you will see. You move higher and higher and higher up in awareness, and you change step by step, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. You know, and this is actually a universal principle called the effortless way. If you look, you know, I'm very interested in nature. I think it's so fun. And if you look at like this small flower coming up, or a grass coming up off just the tarmac, the asphalt, you wonder, how do they do it? Well, they follow the effortless way, the easiest way possible, least energy. And how do we use the effortless way to create the life we really want? We do the same for things. Set high goals, make fast decisions within seconds, and we don't change. We don't stop. We don't change it. We take advice only from people that have done what we really want, and we invest in our personal development. That's all it takes. Do the 4 things. It's the effortless way. And your responsibility is to live the life you really want. You know, the better version you are of, be the best version of yourself. The better version of yourself you are, the more you are to love. Period. The better version of yourself you are, the more love you have to give. What else is there to life than to give love and get love? What else is there? Prosperity. Oh. To prosper. And this is, and you see me up there, that's from, that picture is about 15 years ago, when I was CEO of Rottefella. And we were in this big legal battle. And now I'm here. And you know, Rottefella is a wonderful sporting company. We took 90% of all the medals in the Winter Olympics in Sochi. So we were at that level. We were peak performers. We worked with the top athletes in the world. And I was not happy. I had a really good salary. I had shares in the company, everything, but I was not happy. I felt trapped. I was bored. So what did I do? I set high goals. I started to change. I started to think about how I actually wanted to live. And I made a fast decision within seconds. I took advice from others that had done what I really want, and I invested in my own personal development. I did that. I did those 4 things. And I was scared. I was scared when I made the first decision to get a mentor. I was scared, but well, to me, but it was, I had to spend money on something I didn't know worked, but I trusted them. It felt right. My intuition, my heart said, this is good for me. This is good for me. So I started taking advice from others that had done what I really want, and I invested. And today, I rather die than go back. I rather die. It's that strong. No way, ever will I go back. Because it's possible. You just get rid of that and it's possible. And if I can do it, you can do it. You know, my life changed so much faster and so much better than I ever thought was possible. And it's not boom. It's just step by step by step. And Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple, he said, you have to look backwards to connect the dots. And on Instagram, there is a reel where Elin films me, and we are in Rome, and it was, I think it is 3-4 months ago, beginning of summer, we were in Rome. We sailed to Rome. And we realized when we had lunch there that we were in the middle of a goal. We didn't realize until we were there. It was like, now we're doing it. We're sailing around the world. We are running our company. And we help people all over the world, and we're actually doing it. And I said, I was so happy. And I said, we just have to film this. We are in a goal. We didn't realize it until we were in a goal, because step by step by step, we get there. But the change happened when I got a mentor. And I got Bob Proctor first. And I always have a mentor. It's one of my standards. I always have a mentor. It's the most important thing I do. And I say, if I can do it, if I can change my life, you can do it. You have everything. I have everything inside. You know, when I launched my book, I had no idea. I have to think, it's 1 year ago that I launched my book. That idea came to me on the train when I was commuting back home from my corporate job, because I had this goal that I want to help millions of people all over the world living their full life every day, the full life being successful, living the life you really want. I had that goal. And then that idea came to me. And I said, I had never thought about writing a book. And I realized that, well, I have to write a book. And I started writing it immediately on the train. On my iPhone, I started making the outline to that. And then I wrote it in 3 weeks. And that I had no idea how I could do that, but it just came to my mind. And then we launched it, and it's an international bestseller on Amazon. You know, it just changes. And that is why I have these programs, because we know it works. So this is how we can help you. We have programs for those who want to see if this works. I have programs for high achievers. I have programs on Diamond League, which are the highest level I work. I work one-on-one with a few too. I have seminars. And the reason why we have this is because we know it works. It's just, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. And being the best version of you. Sometimes I ask Elin, my wife, how was I before? Who was I? I just like, I can't remember who I were before. And I say, no, don't think about that. So you like me more now? Uh-huh. A lot more now. To be the best version of you. And then most people say, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it works? What if? What if up? Always think, what if up? Well, what if this works? And it does. And, you know, take these fast decisions. Make these fast decisions. Follow your heart. So I say, do it now. Do it now, do it now, do it now. If you want to have our help, or if you want to work with someone else, to me, it's okay. You know, if you want our help, but do the 4 things. Set high goals. Set high goals. Take fast decisions. Do it now and don't change it. Listen to people that live their life like they truly want, and then invest in yourself. Time and money. It's the best investment I ever done. So you have you have my cell phone number there. It's my private number. Text me. You have Elin's phone number there. Text her, and you can email us at hello@christerjohnson.com, because you have 2 choices. You have 2 choices. You can do it now, or you can regret it later. And as Jim Rohn said, the price of discipline, the price of being daring, of doing it now, is now. The price of regret is rest of your life. And it's true. What do most people regret? What they didn't do. So start doing it. You know, start changing your life now. If you want our help, reach out to us. We have tailor-made mentoring, you know. We will help you. And why? Because we love it. And if you act now, we have a special bonus for you that we will tell you more about when you reach out to us. So you have hello@christerjohnson.com, that you already booked your spot at this webinar on that mail, and you have my cell phone, and you have Elin's cell phone. Reach out to us. But do the 4 things. It's the best thing you can do. I have to share a story at the end now. It's because I talked to my mentor just an hour ago. It's 45 minutes ago. And we talk every week, every second week. And I remember this story. He said, when I left the corporate world, when I was so afraid, when I resigned from my job 1 week before Elin and I should get married, it was shitty scary. Why was it scary? Because I gave up my identity. You know, my identity was this successful CEO, and I was chairman of companies, and I was working with investment and so on, and I was bored, and I was so afraid of leaving that role. Even though I was unhappy, I was afraid of losing, afraid of everything. And my mentor said to me, you know, one day we will have a beer and we will meet and have a beer and we will laugh about how shitty scared you were. And we have had that beer. I was so afraid, and it's the best thing I ever done. It's the best thing I ever done. So I just highly recommend you from my heart. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Okay. That's it. Thank you all for attending. It is recorded this. So you will have the recording. And a part of studying is that we see things over and over again. We read it again, we look at it again. There's a lot of learning here. So I highly recommend you to see it again and reach out to us. Do it now, and we will have this special bonus for you. Okay. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. See you soon.
When I first saw Christer on Facebook, I was immediately tempted to contact him, as I had actually met him more than 10 years ago. I definitely have moved away and trying to become another person than what I was. And then attending the course now with Christer and seeing him as a really new Christer, that has helped me wanting to reach my goals even more. As I remember Christer as being immensely cocky, as he was 10 years ago, and he admits that himself. So fascinating to see him achieving his goals and living the life he really wants, and that's where I'm aiming to. Attending the course, Christer has his toolbox wide open for us, and the tool I liked the most was how he described the laws of the universe and how that helped me. So I'm using that every day together with his morning routines and rereading his book, and also having my own routines, which helps me to start the day, to crank a new day open. I would also like to mention that it's fascinating that we both are sailors. We didn't know that. I didn't know that he was a keen sailor. We know as sailors that we need some speed to be able to maneuver our sailboat, our boats. So to have some speed, to find that solid rudder in our life, that's my metaphor of Christer helping me. That's why I wanted to attend this course, and I've gained that rudder so immensely. So now my boat is steering to a new horizon, that's for sure. Throughout the course, I realized that I was actually needing to step up to a better version of myself. And that would, for me, be Christian 2.0. I must love myself to be able to love other persons. I have better confidence in myself to make the changes needed to reach my goals. It's definitely something that I had gained throughout the course, and I'm on my way.
I wrote a book several years ago, and it was on the back burner, and I kind of wanted to have it out. And for me, it was at the time I was still kind of difficult to take that kind of visibility, to put myself on the line. I was emotionally feeling that I was exposing myself, so I was just pushing it off by starting so many other projects in parallel. It's a wonderful thing to have somebody professional by your side to pull you through that process to the end. For me, the background of Christer in business and management and leadership has been some of the most important that has followed me through this program. His way of being accountable and supportive and structured has brought me where I want to be. I've achieved the goals that I set out with. And so in that way, I find his approach and methodology very efficient. It's not about feeling good and talking, and it's not always a very rounded approach. It's very direct, and I like that because I don't want to waste my time when I'm when what I set out with is that I have a goal, I want to reach it. How do I get help to do that? And that is what Christer has done with his business background and leadership personality. That has brought me where I want to be and helped me to achieve my goals.